Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Let's begin with what happened today at the appeal court at the resumed hearing of the Presidential Election Petitions Tribunal. So, there was drama just before the judges got into the courtroom today. It was a situation where we saw Mr. Lamidi Apapa, the leader of the Labour Party on one hand, and this was what really happened. This altercation, it was the initial incident that occurred, but I'll allow you to listen to those altercation and those conversations before it went really awry.
Talk to him for what?
What's right?
So you saw, you can see right there on your screen the drama, which was basically between the two camps in the Labour Party on which group should be in court at a resumed hearing of the presidential election petitions. The justices arrived to commence the day's proceeding and also refused to acknowledge the representation of the party aside the presidential candidate of the party, Mr. Peter Obi, who eventually was present in court. The tribunal refused to take an appearance for the Labour Party as the group on Mr. Lamidi Apapa, as well as the national women's leader of the party, Dudu Manugu, tried to make an appearance for Labour Party when the petition was called. Justice Aruna Samani noted that if two persons are making an appearance for the party, they will not be put on record. Mr. Apapa had attempted to occupy the seat reserved for the Abure camp, but was resisted. Let's get some perspectives on how this thing is going. I mean, if there is a difference and there is some disparity and misunderstanding as to who is the real leader of the Labour Party. You saw what happened the last time, a few days ago, when they went to court. But we might not be as confused because this thing, there are those who believe in the Lamidi Apapa, there are those who believe in the Julius Abure, but we may not be as confused to who really is Peter Obi. Peter Obi is a presidential candidate. I'm not sure there is a debate over Mr. Peter Obi. That's why tonight I'll be speaking with Mr. Akin Osuntokun, who is the Director General of the Labour Party and Peter Obi Presidential Campaign Organization. Thank you so much, Mr. Osuntokun, for joining us tonight.
You're welcome.
Interestingly, I'd like you to listen to what Mr. Apapa said after that incident. Everyone, listen to Mr. Lamidi Apapa. This was after it was booed out of court.
Well, the first question of allegation of corruption, bribe taking, it is not true. And I've told them severally, if you have an evidence to prove, bring your evidence that I have collected money or we have collected money from anybody. That is not, it's absolutely untrue. That's that.
And the second one, obviously Peter will be taking side with Aburi.
You see the Aburi, Peter will be taking side. You see, I don't want to keep on exposing, but he deserves to be exposed. He deserves to be exposed. Some time ago, in one of the interviews he granted, he said he does not know me at all. I want to tell the whole world, he's a liar. And let me tell you why I say he's a liar. I've been trying to cover him, but he does not deserve it. The reasons are this. One, this is a man done his primary in Asaba. I did the opening prayer. And I was not a young officer. I was the deputy national chairman of the party then. So not a junior officer. This party, I've been 21 years in this party. When this party was formed, I started with the party, and I've held a lot of positions in the party to the level I have today.
Well, you can see Mr. Lamimbi Apapa there trying to speak his own mind and his own truth. But Mr. Osuntokun, you are very close to Mr. Peter Obi. What is going on? You were with him in court today, isn't it?
As a matter of fact, the incident started from me. So I was sitting, you know, our protocol lady usually reserves a seat, a four-seater for us. Myself, Obi, and anybody, party chairman. So, of course, I think that, look, the man is obsessed with recognition. Because, you see, when they were there, that was the first question he came. When I was sitting, he led his gang of people to come to me that he wants to sit where I am sitting. I said, I don't know you. Don't you know me? I said, who are you?
That's what Mr. Apapa told me.
That was what he said. You know me? Who are you? I said, what? I know you, I know you. That should be as a nuisance. You know, that if you keep on pressing it upon me, that you know me. Look, it's an aspect of the criminalization of politics in Nigeria today.
What do you mean by that?
It has several manifestations. You are going to have a Senate president, if APC were to be believed, right, who became senator by an unprecedented judgment of the Supreme Court. He was contesting for presidency and Senate at the same time. I was scaling that. Now, they are bringing him to rub it on our face that the man is coming to. He has tons of cases at EFCC. See, this is the new normal in Nigeria. He's co-contestant, Kalu, right? Do I need to tell his story? It was technicality. He was convicted. He was in jail. And the Supreme Court, again, its wisdom, says that because the man who gave the judgment had been promoted to another, not on the substance of the case, but that the man who gave the judgment had been promoted somewhere. It was on that basis that it was nullified. And you see, he was a sore thumb among the people from condemning or castigating the idea of conceding the presidency to the Southeast. He was championing the cause, you know, of not entertaining it at all. It's not their turn. Now he wants to be Senate president. He has made a 60 degrees, so now say, well, it will amount to cheating, injustice against the Igbo people if he's not made the Senate president. So you see all these kind of things, you know, the criminalization of politics. You ask this man, what does he do for a living, or people around him? This Mr. Apapa, where will I know him? He was talking about Peter Obi not knowing. If you give a prayer talk somewhere, I must remember you. If that was the only instance I ever came across you, I will remember. He's so significant, an insignificant person. And obviously has a lot of complex going on. But look, I don't blame them anyway. They seem to have...
You remember him? You know him somehow?
No, I never came across him.
But what about reputation? Since this happened, do you know him by reputation of the incident that have happened in the party?
You can extrapolate from somebody's behavior. The last time I heard from them, they said that they were accusing Peter Obi of transferring or embezzling campaign money, that they were going to withdraw the case from Supreme Court. So that is their interest in the Labour Party. Look, I don't blame, as I said, you know, they hit jackpot. People who don't have probably any means of supporting their livelihood in a comfortable way, they have become useful to parties who are interested in destabilizing the Labour Party. So that is what they are doing.
Mr. Osuntokun, give me a sense of what you make of what is happening. Because the other time I was speaking with one of the guys in the camp of Mr. Julius Abru, who said there is an obvious weaponization of money against the Labour Party, and Mr. Lamibi Apapa and his friends in the Labour Party are being sponsored. Do you have that sense too? Do you have that feeling that there's some people who are sponsoring them?
Look, it doesn't make logic any other way. How else? What is their interest in
to
the
what
party?
to what intent or what to what purpose do you think they might be sponsoring them?
They have a nuisance value. You know, we are discussing a crisis that is no crisis at all. So they have a nuisance value, right? And unfortunately, they were obliged by justice by one of the judges. So they have a nuisance value. As I said, you can extrapolate from their conduct that they are obviously sponsored. What they say is not in the interest of, if for instance, if they support Peter Obi and his presidential aspiration, why should you be creating problems for that kind of person? Why not go to him? Why not make it open? Look, your desire, you have never said anything that bodes well for the party. You're always saying things, accusing, dragging the party in the mud, making all sorts of wild allegations, accusing the candidate of diverting campaign money, saying today you want to withdraw the case from somebody must report to you. How does all that make sense?
Where do you think this storm could be coming from?
Maybe APC.
You think that there might be thing? I mean, what gives you that feeling that it might be APC that is sponsoring this?
Well, because they have a vested interest in a weak Labour Party or a weak party, you know, whose presidential candidate is challenging them at the court.
But Atiku Abubakar is there, who came second. Peter Obi came third. So why do you think they're after the man who came third? Don't you think that logically they should be after the man who they think might obviously be a direct beneficiary should they lose in court?
You know, it's cheating. You know, the way Obi was cheated, you know, they were so conspicuous, right? And there are evidence to that effect. You know, they know that they are. So, you know, that, you know, it's all in the media. It's very, you know, Obi has attained a level of international acclaim, global acclaim. The international community is interested in his case. You know, in Nigeria too, is, you know, of course he was nakedly rigged out of the election. The APC people know deep in their hearts, in alliance with INEC, who won the election well, who at least won the majority of the votes. You know, so that's why he's a target. Up till now,
maybe you should just drop it so that someone could help you out. I'm very sure that some of your friends are seeing you on television and they might be wondering, maybe it's a good time to talk to you. But this is a live show, so exactly. Go ahead, please.
You know, so you know that up till now, you know, he's a newsmaker. You know, of all the politicians in this cycle, he's the most compelling. I mean, you know, he has a demographic of the population that anybody who is thinking about Nigeria's future and its progress, that is the demographic that you look at. He's about the most important, you know, political leader in Nigeria today going forward. He has so many, he's a focus. He's a focus of for so many reasons. One, as I said, probably the most important, is that he won the majority of the votes in that election. I know that for a fact. Right? And probably Anek knows it. In any case, look at it this way. Is it logical to believe that APC will not have attempted to meddle with the election? Does it have the capacity to do so? It does. And it has the motivation to do so. So you can take it for granted that APC, and to some extent the PDP, will have fiddled with the election in one way or the other. But the Labour Party doesn't have a similar capacity to do so. As a matter of fact, you know, like we couldn't afford polling agents all over the country. So, you know, We don't have the capacity. There is no need, inclination. And don't forget that all the opinion polls, before the election, almost the 7 of them said, and that was what they recorded on the field. These are scientific polls, and many of them, like CNN, they have no interest, vested interest in one candidate or another. So that's...
and this brings me to the question, because of your experience, you've been around for a while, and you have a very deep understanding of Nigeria's politics. This kind of thing that is happening in your party, there are those who think that this could have been stemmed a long time ago, that this shouldn't have been allowed to fester, that maybe the leadership of the party shouldn't have allowed these to get to this point. Do you have that feeling?
Not at all. You are giving them the benefit of the doubt, attributing, objective motives to them. No, there is an ulterior motive to what they are. Look at their conduct. The conduct is obstructionist. Anything that subverts the Labour Party and its candidate, you are going to find them there. And these people, they don't have the means of moving around, probably flying all over the place. So somebody must be picking the tabs.
But again,
there's no way. Let me tell you, you can only reconcile with somebody who has invested, good interest.
The question is perhaps a bad management, because it's like you have a weed in front of your house. Before you know it, that weed can suffocate the flowers.
No,
so the question is whether or not this is a storm in a teacup or a real storm. It's perhaps been attributed now for some section in your party that this was a bad management. Should have actually been
not at all.
Long before now.
No. Look, your premise is wrong. The premise is that these people have been, it's an orchestration, by somebody who has a hostile vested interest in the welfare of the political party, the Labour Party, and its presidential candidate. So they are not there. You are assuming that these people, they have to believe or have a good, their interest in Labour Party is beneficial or benign. Not at all. You can only reconcile with somebody who wants the progress of the party, who wants the case, the petition of the presidential candidate at the election tribunal to go forward. Rather you find a group of people who specialize in destroying their people's reputation, who went to the extent of saying that they will withdraw the case from the court. So how do you reconcile it? It's not a question of, I think you get it wrong. Your premise is wrong. It's not as if they are not benign. It's not that they are new. It's not an objective. It's an orchestration. It's a project.
I come back to the same point of your experience and your knowledge of Nigeria's politics. And this kind of situation in circumstances and scenarios where technicalities have been used to upturn and to remove or otherwise displace the status quo. And I like to get the feeling that you're having as an experienced politician, the fact that what do you suspect that could be a danger if this is not really handled carefully, that the chances of your party, whatever the hard work may be, what you are seeing right now, if it's not properly handled, what danger does it portend for your party?
It doesn't portend any danger. It will fizzle out anyway after the court case, right? So that's, good enough. And being a very wise man himself, that's Peter Obi. He had the presence of mind to make himself the first petitioner. So you can have all the problem with your second petitioner, Labour. You can go and do whatever you want to do. He is the first petitioner, so he's going to go on. There is little or nothing anybody can do to subvert the petition in court from that purpose. I can assure you that immediately the Supreme Court, whenever it chooses to to deliver judgment, these people will fizzle out. Their usefulness to whoever has it will fizzle out. They don't have anything to contribute to Labour Party. They said them that the acting chairman asked them to go and call for a rally. in Lagos or their village and see how many people will be there. What kind of person, messes, so lacking in dignity that you subject yourself to what the kind of thing that happened to him, today. Look, it's just that a man of his age, he deliberately wants to create nuisance. Everywhere you go, you want to create nuisance. Look, there are other places for you to sit. He didn't take that option. He must come to me where I am sitting, that he wants to sit there as well. Who does that to himself?
What kind of image does this portray of your party?
It's not our party. Look, these are not... Look, Labour Party has proven what it is capable of doing, what it stands for, and the real people who are the engine room of the Labour Party know themselves. Not these people are mercenaries, I'm sorry to say so. They have no consequence at all to the party. They didn't ask them if there was any contribution they made towards the election of either the presidential candidate, governorship candidate, or House of Rep candidate, or down the ballot. Ask any of them what contribution they made.
On a final note, let me get your view, Mr. Osuntokun, on the tweet of the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and the presidential candidate of the PDP. He tweeted today, and this is what he said. He said he's disbelieving. I quote him now. He said, "I'm in disbelief that at Secretary Blinken called Tinubu a contradiction to the publicly stated position of the U.S. on Nigeria's 2023 presidential election." He went further to say, "This is inconceivable, considering that America, as the bastion of democracy, is well briefed on the sham election of February 25. To give legitimacy to the widely acknowledged fraudulent election in Nigeria can be demoralizing to citizens who have hedged their bets on democracy and the sanctity of the ballot."
You see, all this, international community, the Western powers, especially America and Britain, they are masters of ambiguity in this kind of situation. The emphasis really is on stability, not the neatness or correctness or propriety of the process. They are always in a hurry, to ensure stability, even if it means compromising with the devil. So this is what the sneaky way they do things. They know what happened.
But what about the move by the United States to place a restriction, visa restriction, on those who they tagged as those who undermined Nigeria's democracy? What about that move?
As far as I'm concerned, that's tokenism. What import is that?
What would you have thought that the United States or the UK would have done?
Well, as at the time the election was being, look, the British High Commissioner, our initial statement was that what had happened with the February 25 presidential election was worth celebrating, right? Nigeria should be happy about. Of course, a month later, she did a U-turn. Started saying what happened was a failure, ended failure, disappointment, and this, and that. Look, there's nothing wrong in saying Nigerians take responsibility for yourself, But so I understand them from that point of view. I don't expect much from them, but they have the power to make an uprising. But
the fact that we are also a sovereign state.
That's what I'm saying. So ultimately, we have, ultimately, we will be the determinant of our own destiny.
All right.
But you see, what you should know is that these people, they are masters of ambiguity. They are very much concerned, and I don't blame them for that, to quickly arrive at stability, just stabilize it, even if it is the devil who is the president. So long as INEC has declared him the president, let's leave him. Let's find a way of leaving him there. Don't cause problems.
And I'd like to get your view on Mr. Kwankwanso's meeting with Bola Tinubu in France. What do you make of that?
Oh, it's real politics. I don't know what they discussed, but there's nothing to say.
Part of what they discussed is to form a government of national unity?
I wish them well. I mean, Kwakwanso is not responsible to me. I will be happy if it comes to us to work together. But if that is his choice, I respect his choice. I don't see anything wrong in what he has done. I mean, quite frankly, I don't see anything wrong with what he has done. He makes his own choice, that's all.
Mr. Akin Osuntokun, the Director General of the Labour Party and Peter Obi Presidential Campaign Organization, thank you so much indeed for your time tonight.
My pleasure.
Yeah.